Aadhaar is a 12-digit unique ID number which can be used to prove identity and address from anywhere in the country. A pilot project with the Rural Development Department in Jharkhand has demonstrated the power of online Aadhaar authentication in enabling financial inclusion. There are two problems to accessing banks in rural areas. The first is the problem of identification.
हम लोग एड्रेस प्रूफ, आइडेंटिटी प्रूफ मांगते हैं तो उनके पास अवेलेबल नहीं होता है। किसी का अगर होता भी है तो नाम गलत होता है।
मेरा बैंक में खाता नहीं है, इसलिए नहीं है कि मेरा पहचान पत्र था वो गुम हो गया।
मेरा पास न पहचान पत्र है न कुछ है, पैसा जमा करने के लिए हमरा कुछ नहीं है।
The Reserve Bank of India has recognized Aadhaar as a proof of ID and address that meets the Know Your Customer norms of banks, making it easier to open bank accounts.
अब तो ये वाला खाता खुल गया, आधार वाला तो कोई दिक्कत नहीं पड़ता है।
The second problem is of physically accessing banks.
मैं सीतारकोटा से आया हूँ, यहाँ से लगभग 8-9 किलोमीटर पड़ता है। आने जाने में लगभग 4 घंटा लग जाता है। लेकिन बहुत नुकसान हो जाता है मेरा। अगर गांव में बैंक रहता तो इस तरह की दिक्कत नहीं हो जाती।
While there are about 65,000 bank branches servicing urban areas, there are only around 41,000 rural branches catering to the rest of the country.
It was not possible for every bank to go in brick and mortar in all villages. BC is an extended arm of our brick and mortar branches.
In line with the Department of Financial Services vision for financial inclusion, business correspondents for BCs appointed by banks have been going to villages armed with handheld micro ATMs to conduct banking transactions at residents' doorsteps. Aadhaar brings an additional convenience where these machines can service the customers of any bank and using the UIDAI server perform resident authentication online. An individual can go to any BC from any bank. This simple process takes less than a minute. The individual can tell the business correspondent which transaction she wants to conduct. On successfully authenticating her identity using the online biometric micro ATM, she can check balance, deposit, remit or withdraw money transferred by the government or any other individual into her account.
कार्ड लेके गेलिए और हमके जरूरत लागला 50 रुपया हम पैसा निकला के लान लिए।
मशीन वाला इसका नंबर लिया, अंगूठा लिया, उसके बाद में पैसा हमको निकाल के दे दिया 700 रुपया। मेरा बैलेंस 30 रुपया बच गया। 2 मिनट में निकल गया, मैं बाहर आ गया।
Identification and access are also challenges that the government faces in implementing welfare schemes for individuals, for which it spends lakhs of crores of rupees annually.
My own assessment says that the person is genuine, but if he or she doesn't have the identification number, then it's very difficult to provide him any help. So that's a problem area which we are encountering day in day out.
Aadhaar can also become a financial address, transparently linking government welfare schemes to the intended beneficiaries, as it is being observed in a pilot in Jharkhand for payment of MGNREGS wages.
पता करना पड़ता था कि पैसा आया है कि नहीं आया है। 2-3 बार जाने के बाद में पैसा तो मिल ही जाता था, मगर बहुत लेट से।
In the pilot project done in collaboration with the Rural Development Department of Jharkhand, while registering the workers, MGNREGS authorities recorded their Aadhaar numbers. For the payment of wages, a payment advice was sent by the MGNREGS authorities to the bank with the Aadhaar number of the beneficiary and the amount to be paid. The bank transferred the money using the Aadhaar payment bridge operated by the National Payment Corporation of India to the beneficiary's bank account. For withdrawing the money, the beneficiary went to the business correspondent, performed online authentication by giving his or her Aadhaar number and fingerprint on the biometric micro ATM. The business correspondent gave the money to the beneficiary and simultaneously the same amount was transferred from the beneficiary's account and credited to the business correspondent's account.
आपकी बकाया राशि है ₹203 रुपए।
हम तो अनपढ़ है सर, लेकिन मशीन जो बोलता है ना, तो आधार से हम पैसा इतना है मेरा पास पैसा, अकाउंट में, यदि अपना काम करे हुआ काम इतना रहता था कि हम तो समझ लेते हैं।
मशीन में अंगूठा दबाया और पैसा मिल जाता है और पर्ची बुर्ची कुछ नहीं भरना पड़ता है।
The change is significant, especially for women who often have to depend on others to go to the bank to access their entitlements or wages.
पहले मेरा खाता नहीं था, हम पैसा नहीं जमा करते थे। अब पैसा हो गया तो आज गए और जमा करके चल आए 200 रुपया।
The learnings of the Jharkhand pilot can be extended to cover a range of services, where Aadhaar can become the single financial address for multiple welfare schemes, increasing convenience of the beneficiaries. It will also become easier to ensure that the right individual benefits from his or her entitlement and leakages at the last mile are averted.